Yo, what up, what up? Welcome back to the channel where we mix fitness and music. So in this one, we're going to dive into what's needed in order to make more sense of your program, all right? So everybody's going to have a program. We dived into detail on programs and what their intended purpose is for, how long you possibly need to do it. But in this video, what I'm going to go ahead and dive into is the actual programs itself. And we're going to talk a little bit about your goal and which program applies to you. And we'll talk about sets and reps and which is the best direction you need to go in order to make things happen as far as your goals go. Now, when we're looking at programs, what we're going to do is we're going to start out with something. Let's go with fat loss. All right. Something real simple off the top. Y'all get your notes, notepads, whatever you might need. I'm going straight off the top of the dome. That's usually how I do it because I know this stuff usually like the back of my hand because it's something that I practice day in and day out. So let's get it in. First off, we're going to jump off with this, the program itself. So let's say we're gearing our program towards fat loss, right? Usually when it comes down to fat loss, there's several different ways that you could actually burn body fat during your workout. It's 2 times of burning body fat. Usually you're going to find that you can burn body fat during your workout, and or you can burn body fat outside of your workout. That's usually going to be for about 23 hours out of the day. So I'm going to dive into it deep in detail, give you all the ins and outs and make all this make sense. So let's say I sit down and I get ready to write up a program and I'm ready to burn fat. All right, I want to burn fat during my workout, not only during, but I want to also burn after. What I'm going to look to do to maximize my fat loss is going to be in the area of your high intensity work. All right. You probably heard of something called HIIT training. HIIT training, HIIT, it stands for a high intensity interval training. And I'm gonna break that down to you. Some people know it from the Tabata system. The way the Tabata system works, it's a system where it sets up a group of exercises. Usually it's maybe 3, 4 back-to-back exercises. And what's given is a 10-second break in between each exercise. This is how the Tabata system works. Once you carry through all 4 exercises, breaking for 10 seconds in between, usually the exercise is done for around 20 seconds. After you've done all 4 exercises, you give your body about maybe 45 seconds to a minute and you'll do it over again. All right. After you've done all 4 exercises, rested for 10 seconds in between, that's considered to be 1 round. If you're going to get it in and you're going to do high intensity work, usually high intensity involves someone who does not have very many injuries. Let's say you're not really suffering any knee problems or anything like that, because most of your high intensity work is going to involve high impact. High impact means your body will be leaving the ground. So you will do exercises such as burpees, jump squats, jumping jacks, toe touches. Anything that involves the body actually leaving the ground is what's going to be considered high impact. High impact is usually thrown in the category of high intensity work because when you group them all together, give yourself a duration of work and a duration of rest. Make sure it's in a short period of time. You'll find that this will lead to an increase in heart rate, and that will kind of dictate and put your body in a position where it's doing high intensity work. All right. That is usually how you're going to aim and burn a lot of body fat. I can't tell you if that's going to be the way that your body will respond best when it comes down to body fat. It could be different techniques such as strength training or something else that might help your body burn more body fat outside of the interval training. But that's an area where you can start. All right. That's definitely going to help you, again, burn a lot of calories, push the heart rate up. And that's the area you want to be in if you're looking to burn fat. So if you're looking for a fat burning program, you can do something similar to what I just described. So let's talk about it. You're going to take an exercise, all right, such as jumping jacks. You're going to do that exercise for 20 seconds, 25 seconds, or 30 seconds. You're also going to allow your body a period of rest. Now, the period of rest and the work time is very critical. You got to make sure you don't overdo it because at the end of the day, you want to make sure you pull through this workout and you make it to the end. You don't want to tap out somewhere in the middle where you find that, you're not finishing the workout. That's not the ideal plan. You want to make sure you knock it all out. You just want to make sure you're greatly fatigued at the very end and you feel taxed after all the work that you just put in. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to make sure that you design your program to where your heart rate increases and you actually feel the high intensity, okay? That is the idea when it comes down to the HIIT training. So go ahead and set yourself out 4 exercises. Run those exercises for 20 seconds a piece. Give yourself a 10-second break in between and run that 3 times. after about a minute break in between each round. All right. Run that 3 times. It'll take you around 15 to 20 minutes. That'll be the definition of HIIT training. That's going to get your body to that next level if you're looking to burn body fat and maximize those results instantly, and also maximize the results during the workout. Now, let's talk about how we actually burn calories outside of the workout. That means that if I get in the gym right now and I put in an hour's worth of work, will I burn body fat? Yes. Now, after I put in an hour's worth of work, if I were to go out and lift weights and focus on a strength training program, will I burn calories and or body fat after the workout? Yes. And the reason why is this. So when you go in and you do a strength training program, very different than your high intensity work. Usually the high intensity work involves very light weight. It usually won't maximize your muscle breakdown. Breaking down muscle is key when it comes down to your body burning fat all throughout the day. So 23 hours out of the day, in order to make or put your body in a fat burning state, it is best, or in your best interest, that you focus on breaking down muscle, which involves strength training and lifting weights. So I just covered the high intensity work that's geared more towards burning fat during your workout. Now I'm going to go ahead and cover what happens if we focus on strength. You might, as a program designer, I might go and program a strength training regimen for one of my clients. And what I want them to expect is this. Yes, you're going to burn body fat. Yes, you're going to burn body fat during the workout, and you're going to burn body fat after the workout. And we're going to go into each focus point and see how things kind of play out and how you can differ what's going on in your regimen and how it'll impact your results. So let's start off with the exercise. When you're looking at exercises, and this is where you could get out your pen and paper if you need, a better understanding of what I'm describing. When you're getting your exercises, what you're going to focus on, whether it be strength or whether it be burning body fat, you're going to make sure you focus on big exercises. Big exercises mean that you work and maximize the majority of the muscles in your body. You want to utilize everything all in one shot. So let me give you a quick example. If I get out there and I start doing pull-ups, so when I do pull-ups, not only do I work my biceps, but I'm going to work my shoulders. I'm also going to work my back. I'm also going to work my forearms and any other muscles that come into play during that exercise. Outside of pull-ups, if I wasn't focusing on one of the bigger bigger exercises that I just talked about, you might find yourself doing one of the smaller movements, such as a bicep curl. So if you're getting it in with your bicep curls, you curling away, most of the stimulation is occurring within the bicep. It also has some stimulation, some secondary muscles coming into play throughout, but they're not taxed as much as an actual pull-up. So what you got to understand is that if you were to get out and do pull-ups, you'll have more benefit than somebody that gets out and does a bunch of bicep curls. Why? Because the volume is higher. All right. When you're looking at volume, total volume, sets times reps times weight will give you volume. At the end of the day, total volume is what will equate to you growing and seeing more of the results you're trying to see. Total volume will increase if we actually can work with more weight. So you probably could get out there and curl 30, 40, maybe 50 pounds. But if you were to get in there and start doing pull-ups, whatever you're pulling up, 100 pounds, 200 pounds, whatever you're pulling up, that's all of what's being taxed on the bicep. So when you're looking at exercises, you're looking at programs, right? We're dealing with strength training. When you're looking at exercises, you can see in the area of exercises that you're going to want to focus on the bigger exercises, because not only will they work more muscles, but they're also going to help you to burn more calories. And that's key, especially if you're trying to burn body fat. All right. Now let's move on to sets. All right. We're going to go down the line. So you have your exercise, focus on the bigger exercises, your bigger pushes, your bigger pulls, and your bigger squatting movements. Make sure you don't focus on things like leg extensions or back leg curls if you're looking to maximize strength gaining or fat loss. All right. So let's look at sets. So after they've done research and study, what they've found is that if your sets range anywhere between 2 to 4 sets, that's usually the area where you could actually maximize your ability to gain strength and or burn body fat, between 2 and 4. When you go down to, let's say, 1 set, after they've done the studies on it, they found that 1 set, they come down to the conclusion that 1 set is just not enough to really tax the body in the way that you probably want in order to see the results that you're looking for. So it's in your best interest to shoot for anywhere between 2 and 4. And if you were to go outside of the 4 sets, that'll usually equate to a different goal. You're now starting to dip into another range. It could be the area of stamina, endurance. It's very rare that you're going to find yourself doing 5, 6, and 7 sets on any particular exercise unless you have a very, very specific goal. Usually you're going to aim for anywhere between 2 to 4, and then you're good. After you move on from sets, you're going to move on to reps. Now, when we talk about reps will change, and other things will change along with the reps, such as weight. Now, when we look at reps, what you're going to notice is if your rep range is along the lower side, anywhere between 5 to 8, that'll usually involve heavy weight. All right. If I were to give you a program and I instruct you to do 5 repetitions on any given exercise, what I'm looking to make sure is as you are hitting those reps, let's say you hitting bicep curls and you're supposed to do 6 and you hit 3, 4, 5, you want to be struggling at 6. Okay. That is the idea that you want to keep in mind. If you're aiming for 6, you need to be struggling closer towards 6. If you're not, you need to increase the weight. Okay, because you want to make sure your rep range fits the weight that you're aiming for. Now, if you start to say, hey, look, well, I don't want to do 5 reps. I want to do more reps. Well, what you're going to find if you're able to do more reps, you're going to aim for this burn. And that burn is only going to take place when the weight gets lighter. All right, because you can't do heavy weight and focus on high reps. It just won't match. It just doesn't happen. At that point, the weight's just not heavy. You need to make it heavier and make sure you hit that rep range that is within the limits you're aiming for. So when you take the reps and you start to go up and you say, okay, I'm going to do 10 reps, or I'm going to do 12 reps, or I'm going to do 15 reps. As you increase in reps, you need to decrease in weight. Just keep in mind that as you increase in reps and decrease in weight, different things will take place. If you're decreasing in weight, keep the idea in mind that you're no longer building in the area of strength. All right. You're no longer building in that area. You're building more in the area of stamina and endurance because the weight is definitely along the lower side. All right. Now, when you're looking at reps, it'll always connect that once those reps start going up, you need to bring the weight down. Now, the same thing I just described is the same way how it works for 12 reps, same way how it works for 15 reps. As you get closer to the designated rep range that was given to you, either made up by yourself or program given to you from your trainer or instructor, that is the area that you need to aim within and make sure that you're kind of getting close to it and feeling the fatigue starting to set in right around that time. Now, we've now covered exercises. You're going to focus on the biggest ones. We've covered sets. You're going to aim for anywhere between 2 to 4. Now we look at rep ranges. All right. I just went ahead and covered the rep ranges, and it works in sync with the sets, reps, rest in time, sets, reps. So it works in sync with the rep ranges. My bad. The rep ranges work in sync with the weight. When you look at the weight, you're going to notice that again, as the rep ranges increase, the weight will decrease. Now, the next thing you're going to focus on, because you have exercises, sets, reps, weight, and you have resting time. Okay. It is key that you make sure you focus on your resting time. It is very, very critical. You're going to notice the resting time will fluctuate based on what you're actually doing. All right. So for example, on your resting time, if you find yourself resting for a very long period of time, that's not an issue. Some guys can rest for up to 5 minutes, but usually if someone's resting between 3 to 5 minutes, which is a very long extended period to rest for, that'll usually involve very, very heavy weight. It'll involve PRs. People, setting records, 1 rep maxes, things like that are usually related to 3 to 5 minutes on the rep range, 3 to 5 minutes on the resting time. So when you look at what's next, so you have your reps, resting rate, everything down packed. When you're looking at your resting time, you're going to find that anywhere between 30 seconds to a minute is the ideal resting time you want to stick within. And that'll allow you to still burn body fat and also be able to manage and build some strength. All right. The more you decrease your resting time, the less of a chance your body will stand and be able to actually build strength. Okay, if that's making sense. Because if I get out there and I hit 20 squats and I only rest for 10 seconds, my next time around, I might not be able to do 20. My next time around, I might not be able to do whatever number I just did on my previous. And as my sets continue, you'll notice your reps will continuously drop lower and lower and lower. And that's because your resting time is too short. To some degree, you want to complete those workouts, okay? You want to complete them. And in order to make that happen, that may involve your resting time to be within a range that comfortably fits you so you could actually get through each workout. It's not the best thing to do to get out there and just kind of kill your body and do the most intense workouts you could possibly find. It's better if you work with more structure, more order, more consistency, and at some point in time your body will start to really tap in and feel the effects of what you're doing, and then over time you'll see that you start to see the results really starting to pick up and come into play. So now that I covered fat loss and I dived into HIIT training, thinking or assuming for some people out there that may be the best way for you to burn body fat, I've also now dived into strength. I broke down the exercises, the sets, the reps, the resting time. All of that stuff are factors to consider and put in the equation when either you are coming up with your routine, or if you were to see your trainer, you could also inform him that you have a little bit of knowledge on what's going on, so he doesn't completely throw you out there to the wolves and have you doing something that you're not familiar with. So the next thing that I wanted to dive into, and it'll be the quickest one, is going to be weight maintenance. All right. When it comes down to weight maintenance, the biggest thing that I would say to do is you would definitely need to focus on your calories coming in, just like I said in previous videos. And you're going to want to make sure as you go through your routines, if you have a weight maintenance program, I would actually instruct my client to actually go for a long period of time using the same amounts of weight and things like that, taking around about the same amounts of calories, because that's the idea you want to keep in mind if you're looking to maintain your weight. All right. And it works the opposite if you were going with losing weight or gaining weight. The idea is if you were looking to lose weight, it's in your best interest to switch up your workouts or exercises immediately when your body hits the plateau. So if you're looking to maintain your weight, sometimes a plateau is not so bad because you're staying right where you at. You're gonna stay in one spot. So that's how you look at the weight side, whether you wanted to increase, decrease, and then you're looking at the other side where you're like, okay, well, what exercises do I need? What sets do I need? All of that stuff is covered. It's all covered in one shot. All right. If you're looking to maintain the weight, just go for a longer period of time, doing the same consistent weight, same exercises, same rep range, all that stuff. And I just gave you the idea. If you want to burn body fat, switch it up more sooner than you would. And when it comes down to building strength, yes, you continuously switch it up. But on top of switching it up, you want to make sure you're adding more weight, probably more frequently than any other program. All right. Fat burning, you more so want to switch up the exercises. Of course, you switch weight, do different things. And then when it comes down to building strength, you want to make sure you're adding 5, maybe 10 pounds every week, 2 weeks, maybe up to 3 weeks on your bench press, on your squat, on your pull-ups, anything like that. Those are the areas that you want to aim for. I'm gonna get up off this one. I think this one is getting really long. If anybody's confused about it, it's never gonna be this long. I felt like this video needed to have all this information involved. This is key and critical in you seeing a lot of progress and hitting your goals. So most of my videos will be a lot shorter. What I have next that's supposed to come into play, I'm just having a little bit of issues with the gyms and recording and stuff like that. I'm trying to get the workouts in. It's not an easy thing. Nowadays, most places don't like you to pull up to gyms and just get your little recording on and do your thing like that. They rather have you go to a private gym. So I'm in the midst of trying to seek out a private gym where I can actually dive into some of these exercises and give y'all a better understanding of how the movements actually look on camera instead of just describing them to you as we speak. But I'm gonna get up off this one. Y'all know what it is. Conservative guy. I'm out.